This project, in a unique way, bonded you with Jessica Biel. In a world where I think we can be competitive with each other, I think it's so special that you can be a person who supports both.
Yeah, I was very happy that she reached out in that way, and yeah, there's no need to have competition. Stories that are interesting deserve to be told, and every way you're going to tell it's going to be different. It's impossible for it to be the same.
I read that you said she kind of set you at ease.
I think it was more just kind of like oh great, this is nice that we are both acknowledging this thing, because we were filming simultaneously. It wasn't like her show came out, we all watched it, and then, or their show, not her show, but their show.
Parallel,
yeah. So it was kind of like a roll of the dice of, what was gonna show first, and she didn't want to hide from the idea that there would be comparisons, I guess.
Yeah, but we don't need to compare. We can
No,
enjoy
gosh,
both.
when you read your kid's story and they're interested in the story, they never say, oh my God, never read that story to me again, or I don't want to hear it. They say, I'd like to hear you read it, and I want to hear you read it, and I want to hear you read it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's such a wonderful way. We are just storytellers, and we're shining a light on this particular story, and I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for viewers to get to experience the story more than once if they choose to do so.
Well, that was a surprise to us. We were already 2 months into filming when that show went into production. So we had the underlying rights. We thought we were as safe as one can be, but it's public domain material. And that was a big shock to all of us, that there was another show being made when we were already filming. But, there's nothing you can do about it.
They say she was murdered with an axe.
An axe? What is it about this wild true crime story that you said, I must be a part of it, I must play this role?
It's so odd and strange, and there's a lot of details that seem like someone made it up, but they didn't. And I think through what David wrote in his scripts and through what Lesli also wanted to explore is trying to share the story in a way that doesn't cause any real judgment on any one person, even though obviously there is one other woman who's standing and one other woman who's not. We are telling events that are absurd and sometimes funny, that all of this chain of events leads to this one horrible tragedy.
Did you kill your wife?
No. I did have an affair with Candy Montgomery.
Jesse, we're sitting here with your TV wife and your TV mistress. What was it like working with both of these forces of women and going toe-to-toe in a lot of those scenes?
Well, embarrassment of riches, they're both so talented. Seriously, it was so, there was a moment that I just remembered where we were in the camera test, like in the Como Motel, and it was the first time all of us were in costume, similar setup. I did feel a little like, well, knowing what you're about to get into, but no, they were obviously incredibly talented at what they do, and the whole cast, the crew, it was a collection of some very, very talented people, and that made it a lot of fun.
Lily, my goodness, we get to see you rock a bump, and we get to see you give birth on camera in this role. How much of your motherly instincts in real life kick in when you're presented with a role like this?
Oh gosh, well, I was pregnant. Through the shooting of the series.
Oh, so that's really you.
It is.
And sometimes it's
for part of it.
Sometimes
right?
it's not.
My belly was always there.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it was exaggerated.
Sometimes
it was reduced.
Was exaggerated, and in the moments that it wasn't there, it's not my belly that you're looking at.
Okay,
there we go.
Right.
Thank you for clarifying.
So
my
I had
belly
something.
Was always there.
Yes, I had 2 heartbeats for the whole show, and it was quite amazing because she is pregnant in the show, gives birth in the show, and then at the time of her death believed she was pregnant. So there were all sorts of very poignant overlaps that were happening there. But they also, they did this incredible thing that I didn't know was possible to do. Because I've worked pregnant quite a lot now, and always, there's different ways of, sometimes you get to use it, sometimes you're hiding it, sometimes, but in this case we had not a body double, but a belly double. Really just my abdomen, not my arms. And so when you are seeing me without it, it's all of me except for my midriff.
Oh my gosh. How special one day your child will hopefully watch this and see that.
Probably never.
No?
I don't know that.
Never allowed to watch? Never.
Well, maybe
Wanna be.
in
Maybe one
many,
day.
many years. Yes, yes. But that's a ways away.
I would love to have you and Pat over. She wants me to come.
I think one of the things I loved most about this project was that although the subject matter was very dark and very serious, you do find really unique ways of infusing a little bit of light, a little bit of humor. And Elizabeth, what a joy to see you singing and even a little dancing in this role.
Yeah.
Did you have fun bringing a little bit of light to such a dark character?
I didn't think of it as bringing light to something dark. I thought of it as these interesting characters being placed in absurd circumstances that lent itself to humor. And my on-camera husband, Patrick Fugit, really chewed up the scenery with making us laugh all the time with the choices he's made. But it wasn't because we weren't trying to like make jokes, or there's no like ha-ha element. Actually, when the characters are trying to make jokes, you're kind of uncomfortable. Right. But it's really their situations and the pauses and the relationships that are creating these awkward moments that's creating humor. And I deeply enjoy those kinds of scenes.
I deeply enjoy watching you sing ABBA.
I didn't know how much I loved ABBA until we were shooting those scenes. I hated disco. I love disco now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Conversion. I love it.
It was a real conversion. I mean, I liked Mamma Mia when I was a little girl and like saw it on tour. But then I stuffed that joyful part of myself away.
Don't repress it.
And she came out.